Say the TV stand for tracks and vocals. You know this is easier than 1, 2, 3. You are now tuned in to Just Swagg TV. Just Swagg TV.
What's your name?
Messenger.
Wow, real strong voice. Where you from?
Pearson, Georgia.
Oh man, you got it. Where is that?
Two red lights. Two red lights. Pearson, Georgia is I would like to say it's in the middle of everywhere, in the middle of everything. It's like down there by the Okefenokee Swamp area. So it's like right on the like right before below Valdosta. So it's like 45 minutes from Valdosta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sound like a place where you couldn't be weak.
Nah, you gotta be strong minded because only the strong survive there, and only a very few make it out. And that's the thing about it. Like where I'm from, you only gonna make it out. Just being honest with sports, uh, with music, and nobody has made it out of my city with music. And I'm trying to be the first one. No, I ain't trying. I'm gonna be the first one. Um, and and if you're not doing sports, you join the military. So that's what I did. I joined the military, which was my avenue out of my city, and now I'm going full force in the music. So that way I can be the first out of my city to be successful in the music business.
That's some big shoes to fill.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 30. I know I don't look 30, but yeah, I'm 30.
Why do you why do you feel that's such a shoes to fill at such a young age?
Um, it's a lot of young guys and girls back home in my area that want to make music, and a lot of them don't know that I make music. Some know that I make music because I very rarely go back home. Like very seldom I go back home see my parents, my family members, loved ones, and friends. That's why I think it was a blessing that God allowed me to get back to Georgia um, for this duty station. Because now I'm stationed in Augusta, and I'm only 3 hours away from home, so I can drive home any weekend that I feel. So it's great. So it's a lot. Like I get a lot of people say, "Hey man, how you doing with the like? I see that you engineer and you mix and master your own stuff. Like, what did you do? How you do it?" And I just give back. I give back.
Let's start from the beginning. How was growing up in your household? You grew up with your mom and dad?
Yeah, I grew up with my mom and dad. My mom and dad still married. Thank God. I've seen the rough days. I've seen the good days. I've seen the bad days. And the bad days didn't outweigh the good. The good always overcame the bad. Um, and it was just my older brother who joined the military before I did, and my brother has always been my hero. So I was like, you know what, I'm about to follow his footsteps. But that didn't work out so off rip because the Navy and the Air Force they disqualified me because I got eczema. So that's when I went to college, and I'm like, I'm really good at this music. And then we started doing local shows, and we would be at the college nights performing every Thursday night, you know. And I stopped for a little while because I had to find myself spiritually who I was as a person, and then I jumped right back in it.
What did it mean for you growing up with your mom and dad, and maybe some of the other friends around you may not have had their mom and dad? What did it mean for you, and what does it mean for you statistically, knowing that a lot of black fathers are not in home?
Right. It mean a lot, man. Like growing up, me and my dad, I wouldn't say we had a bad relationship, but I wouldn't say we had the best relationship. Like me and my dad was just alike. And you know how they always say two men can't live in the same house. But at the end of the day, I was trying to be grown at an early age, not understanding the things that he was trying to teach me. And now as a grown man with my own kids, I understand everything that he tried to teach me. So it was beneficial. Like now, like I go back home, like I be like, Dad, where you want to go? Let's ride. Like me and my dad, this is my A1. Like we look just alike. We look like identical twins.
You ever
So,
get a whooping from your father?
oh man, my dad used to tear my ass up. Like
For what?
being hard headed, doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. Um,
Do you remember any time that happened?
I remember this one particular time, and I was like 15. I was like 16. I had license and everything, but I drove out of town. I drove out of town like 15, 20 minutes out of town. Wasn't supposed to go see this girl. And I went to go see this girl. My dad was looking for me. I wasn't answering my phone. And as soon as I was coming back in town, mind you, I got 2 red lights in my city. So mind you, when I'm coming back in town, he saw my car. He beat me home and he told my tail up.
Did you still love him after that?
Yeah, I still love him. Like I was bothered at the fact, but like I understood like I wasn't supposed to be doing the things that I was doing. Like now, like I'll do anything for my dad. Like even then, like it's just the fact that I know that I have that type of dad that's emotional. A lot of guys don't have that. A lot of kids don't have that. Like my dad is, I wouldn't call him a teddy bear, but he love his kids. Like my brother left off for the military, my dad boohoo cried. Like when I left off for the military, my dad boohoo cried. Like even still to this day, I live 3 hours away from home. I can come visit my dad for the weekend. When I leave, he's sad because he just loves his kids, but he's proud of us.
What relationship did you have with your mom?
Oh, that my mom, that's my baby. That's my baby. Like my mom was that person that's where I get that all gas no brakes mentality from. Like my mom was the woman that she just grind. Like my mom still to this day just grinding, grinding. Like, and that's why I go so hard in this music because like I said, my song "Stay Up." I made it out where I'm from, but I ain't satisfied because my mama and dad is still working a 9 to 5, and I'm not satisfied until I'm able to retire them before they can retire. Man, me and my mom, we have a great relationship. Like I never forget this one time. I was in high school and I was on the homecoming committee, and my dad didn't have the money and my mom didn't have the money. But mom is a great cook, and she's like the neighborhood baker. So like she baked her famous desserts and sweets just so I can get my tux, and I walked for homecoming. And that's why I got that grind mentality. Like if you want it and you see it, just go for it.
When did you first see adversity? When did you first see that someone was not liking what you may have done or what you did? When has there been a situation where someone hasn't liked what you've done and you might have felt some type of way?
Um, that's I've been feeling that way my whole entire life. To be honest with you, like throughout high school, I've always been the outcast. I've never did the things that everybody else did. I never did the norm. Like we would come basketball games. We would have guys would be in their hoodies, their pants, and stuff like that. I'll be in the 3-piece suit. Kid you not. I'm talking about this is in the early 2000, the early 2000s. Like I'm in a 3-piece suit at a basketball game. But that's what the professionals did. So I always wanted to look professional, and I think that's what always stood me out from everyone else. Like no matter what I did, I always wanted to be professional, and I was looked at different. Like, are you trying to be better than everybody else? No, I'm just trying to be professional. I'm presenting myself this way because I don't want to be looked at a certain way.
You went to the military?
Yes, I've been in the military for 7 years.
Who made that decision for you?
Um, my dad helped make that decision. Um, and my wife, she helped make that decision as well. I was in college after I had graduated with my associates from my previous college. I had went and got a partial basketball scholarship, and I was driving back and forth working and playing basketball because I still had a family. But it was a private institution, and the tuition was sky high. So working at Burger King and trying to play basketball, those dreams weren't just lining up. So my dad was like, "Hey, you gonna have to do something." And I went to the recruiting office and I went down and made that happen. And just so happened they gave me a waiver for my eczema, and there I am.
What branch of the military did you join?
I'm in the army.
Why Army?
Cause I wasn't going Marines. Wasn't going Marines. It was always to the point where I knew that if I joined the army, because I had a lot of family members that joined the army, and I was getting information from them like, if you can get into a great job, um, you can be able to set yourself up for success in the long run, and that's what I did.
So, have you ever somebody else's army. Like it's not our war. It's not our war. Did you go in during a time of war? Did you ever believe in the reason why the military may have been fighting?
When I came in, um, no one was really downrange when I came in. So my first duty assignment was Germany, and I was over there living an amazing life, traveling, seeing the world. Um, my wife and my son at the time were able to see the world, and it was great. And then I came back to the states to Texas, and that was when I saw war for the first time, by actually going to Afghanistan. And I went to Afghanistan for like 5 months because I was already on orders to come to Georgia. Um, so yeah, I had to leave my wife, my son, and my newborn daughter at the time, where she was like a little, almost a year. Well, she was over a year at the time when I had to leave. So at the time, I didn't really understand why we was going over there. Um, got to get back brief for what you're going over there for, but I didn't have that many issues while I was over there. Some rockets came down. God, spared us to come back, but um, I never got that deep into politics. That's always been my main focus. Like, just go in, do your job, don't get so deep into politics because at the end of the day, it's not your role.
Did you lose anybody over there?
No, we didn't lose anybody. Everybody came back home.
When did you first realize that you were an artist?
Um, I realized that I had the ability when I was 12. I realized that I had the ability at 12. Like, I was writing music at the age of 12, like, and rapping. My first my first rap name was Lil Wody. Like, I was in love with the whole New Orleans thing, the No Limit, the Cash Money era. Like, I I wanted to be from New Orleans. Like, I was Lil Wody. You know what I'm saying? That's how they talk. Um, and like, I was making raps and doing stuff like that, but I didn't know I could sing until like age 14, when I was actually singing in the choir back home. And I was like, wow, I actually could sing. But I never thought about like singing R&B songs until I got older in high school, and we had this group. We had this group called, I want it was called X Factor. I want to say it was called X Factor, and I had a lot of guys in it. Most of the guys don't make music anymore. Only one guy that still makes music to this day, DJ Bear. DJ Bear, shout out to DJ Bear. We wrote our first song called Candy Love. And like, we would sing it around the girls in the school, and I'm like, wow, they really like that I could sing. And that's when I got to college, started getting around some guys from Atlanta that actually came to South Georgia State College, and they was like, hey, we got this software called Cool Edit. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna put the microphone in the closet, and we're gonna start recording. And when we start recording, like, just doing music, and it's been it's been upward, you know, up and down ever since. Now it's straight up from here.
Being as though your mom and dad stayed married for so long, what did that teach you when it came to finding your wife?
Um, for me, it'll let me know that there's nothing you can't get past. There's nothing that you can't get through. I've seen the things that my parents have went through. I've seen the things that her parents have went through. And at the end of the day, like, and that's just me. Like, if you put God first, like, it ain't nothing that you can't succeed in. It's, yeah, you argue and bicker, and that's small things. But when you come back and sit down and look at each other, like, what were we arguing about? It was small. It was petty. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't like to put their pride to the side, and compromise and communicate with one another. Okay, they see this girl, they see that guy out there. Okay, but you have someone that's solid back home. And what really changed my whole perspective about my marriage is when I went downrange to Afghanistan. My wife held it down, like, held it down. She moved back home with her parents and continued to work, so my kids could be closer to the grandparents, and it was amazing. Like, she made sure everything was straight. All the just bills was paid. Like I didn't have to worry about anything while I was in Afghanistan. All I had to worry about was FaceTiming them and then going back to work the next day. So yeah,
How supportive is she in your music career?
she's solid. She's solid. I always mess with her. Like I don't know who my bigger friend, you or my brother, but like she's like a huge fan. Like my wife will get to the point where it's like if I'm in the studio at the house, like she actually come sit in the studio and actually just listen to what I got going on. Cause my wife knows my voice, so she'll tell me, "Hey, lower that down, take that up." Even though she's not an engineer, she does have an ear for my voice, so she'll let me know, "Hey, you out of key. You shouldn't hit that key. Change this, add this." And like, I kid you not, one of the songs that's like my biggest hits right now, "Forever" featuring Rashad. She was the one that told me to put the skit from Life before the beginning of the song. I would have never thought about doing that.
How influential is the foundation that you have in your career? What has it done for you? And what type of connections have you made with it?
I made a lot of connections. Especially the mil and I say this, the military has opened up a lot of doors for me. Um, it was it was it was ordained because when I was in Germany, I was singing in church, and it was this one lady over there that she just traveled. She's been traveling around Europe all her life just singing, but her son is an engineer here in Atlanta. So while I was there, she was like, "Hey, when you get back to the States, I need you to link up with my son and make this happen." And like, kid you not, like when I got back to Augusta and I actually was doing everything that I was supposed to do, um, I reached out to him and like, "Hey man, your mom told me about you. Like, I'm reaching out because I got a project that I'm doing right now, and I want you to, engineer it." And like he set his fee, and like I was throwing them tracks, and I'll basically get my bass mix at home. He'll finish the mastering process in his studio, and like I had my album back in like within a month. So that's what it has allowed me to grow so much, and you'll be surprised of the people that you run into that are veterans that are in the music industry. It's like so many people that I'm coming in connect with have actually served. So we already have that connection because they 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 know how to walk in those boots. They know what it feels like to walk in those boots. So it makes it even more special.
What do you got planned for the upcoming year? Let's talk about your new single.
Uh, so I'm pushing my single "Stay Up" right now. Um, it's touching a lot of lives. Like when I performed it this past Friday, um, there was a pause in between my next song, and I hear somebody in the background like, "Man, you speaking some real stuff on that song. Like I want that song right now. Where can I find it?" And I had to let the DJ know, "Hey, I need to let them know where they can find this right now." And they went and downloaded it right on the spot. So that song is really touching a lot of people. Like I'm getting calls like, "Hey man, like I know you ain't, what I'm saying, you ain't like trying to be no motivational speaker, but you are really like speaking some true facts in this song, and it's really touching a lot of people." So next year, I'm pushing my album. I'm still pushing my single off the album, but I'm pushing my album a whole lot more. There's like 4 more videos that I want to shoot off my album, um, and then that's going to lead into my single that I'll probably be dropping around the early springtime.
What is Stay Up about?
Stay Up is about my life. Stay Up is about my life. Basically letting them know that's what I've been through. Some people want to see me win. Some want to see me fall. And some just really don't care if I make it or not. But at the end of the day, you gotta stay up. You gotta keep grinding. And it lets you know like where I'm from. When I first was born, like where I first was raised at, on the other side of town, is a spot called the Stone Quarters. It's literally a circle. It's literally a circle full of like brick houses and trailers and just people just trying to survive. And that's where I came from. So that's why I let everybody know like I came straight from the gutter. The Stone Quarters is where you know. And then when my parents got a little bit more money and got better jobs and moved on the other side of town, which we still moved to the hood, but it was the better part of the hood. I wasn't on the cross I went across the tracks, so it made it a little bit better. I was around more family members, but in the day, all days weren't good. Like I say, it was a good day if you had steak in your house. It was a great day if you had steak in your house.
Let's talk about positive vibes, attracting a positive mind.
Right.
What do you got on? Yo, buddy, talk about it.
Appreciate it. It all started because I was before I started back doing hip hop and R&B, the positive side of hip hop and R&B. Um, I was a Christian artist, Christian hip hop artist, and me and my brother we had a talk. He was like, "Listen, man, you can reach a whole lot more people if you just keep it positive. Don't focus so much on the spiritual side of it, but focus more on the positive side of it, of how you can actually change the minds and the thought process of people." And that's why I started making this music. And like I don't curse in none of my music. You won't hear a cuss word in none of my music. So DJs they can go straight on the radio right now. Like, and that was my mentality because I got kids, and if my kids is gonna be singing my songs, I want to be able to sing my songs from beginning to end without having to say an explicit lyric. Um, and that's where I was like, you know what? Everything I do is positive. It's all about positive vibes. And then I got my cousin and basically both of my cousins. They are a group called Mike Perry. And long story short, them two, I brought them on right off the rip because they was with me when we first started this in college. So I said, you know what? Hey, I'm starting this music group, and I want you guys to be a part of it because y'all don't talk about that foolishness either. Y'all all about elevating each other and elevating minds and you know becoming black successful people. And that's where the whole positive vibe music group came from. I was like, we gonna keep this circle small, and we all gonna grind. We gonna rise together. And last year, man, kid you not, early no, it was earlier this year when I had that my very first interview, my very first interview. Um, I just kept saying all gas no brakes, all gas no brakes, and then you was like, you need to brand that. And when you said that, that following week, I went and started doing my paperwork for my LLC. And all gas no brakes was the first design that I did. And then my two cousins, we are business partners. So we all came up with one idea of a positive vibe quote, but let's make it way different than something you would never see. And we all came up with something, got it branded, got it patented, and it's on all of our clothing now.
It's awesome. I really commend you for that as an artist, as a person who's business minded and wants to see something better for their future. Who do you do it for?
I do it for my family. Um, Not alone, I do it for myself as well. Because I've always wanted to have something to be proud of. Um, it's cool to say I served in the military. That's a great, stepping stone. That's great. But there's so many other people that can say I served in the military. Not a lot of people can say I have a business. Not a lot of people can say my business took care of my family. Not a lot of people can say without my passion, what I wanted to do from when I wake up to when I go to sleep, put food on the table, clothes on our backs, roofs over our head, and allowed us to see the world. And it took care of us. Not a lot of people can say that. And that's always been my end result, my end goal. Like I want to do this for myself, but I also want to make sure that my family can look back and say, wow, he put his mind to it. He did it. And not all my little cousins growing up can say, well, if my cousin the messenger can do it, if my brother, my uncle, my auntie, what I'm saying, can see that her husband did this, well, my man can do it too. And it's just a big circle. Breaking that cycle. That's what my mind is all about. Breaking that cycle. Like I got so many people in my hometown. Not even that, I got so many people in my family that are so talented, but they want to be in that box. Step outside of it. Expand your mind. Get outside your comfort zone and just watch. what happened. You'll be surprised.
Last thing, what would you like everyone from your hometown and people in the industry to know about the message? What are you bringing that you feel that the game is missing?
Um, I feel like the game is missing positivity in hip hop, positivity in R&B, and just being honest. Like no one is really talking about change. No one's really talking about changing the mindset of black culture. No one's really talking about, yeah, you talking about how you made it out, but I understand how you made it out. But I'm not about, that's just me. I'm not about promoting that. I'm all about promoting my positive minds and elevating the minds of my black people. And when it comes down to the R&B side of me, like no one's really talking about getting married. Jagged Edge was the last people that ever sung about let's get married. No one's talking about, hey, meet me at the altar. Let's make this happen. Let's do this forever. Let's be together forever. I know we got ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's just me and you. I see no other woman. Not not a lot of R&B singers are talking about that. So, and that's where I'm at. Like, I applaud a lot of R&B singers and a lot of hip hop artists that actually show off their spouse. They actually put their spouse in videos. They actually do things like that. And that's where I'm at. Like, I'm a family oriented person. So that's what I bring different to the table. Like, I'm different. I'm not gonna be your average artist. I'm gonna give you something that can expand the minds of the people in this world, especially in the times that we living in today.
Messenger, I really appreciate you for coming on the show today. It's definitely been dope having you on the block. Tell people how to follow you, how to get in contact with you, and how to and where to go to download your music.
All right. So you can follow me on Instagram at underscore the messenger. That's two underscores and the messenger. Um, I'm mostly on my Instagram at all times. But you can find all of my music on all platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, YouTube Music. Like I'm everywhere. I'm and if you really, really, really just want to go ahead and find me right now, type in "Who Is the Messenger." You'll find a whole album of 16 tracks with nothing but hits from the beginning to the end.
All right. Well, Messenger, it has definitely been a pleasure having you today. I want you to tell everybody how easy was it for you to get to where you are today.
Oh, it's not easy. It wasn't easy at all. Like, um, I've been grinding. Like, I really been grinding, and like, I told my wife, like, I want this. Like, she knows how bad I want this. My parents knows how bad I want this. Like, it's to the point where right now I know I got to be to work in the morning, but I still drove those 2 hours just to come out here and promote myself because I got something to say. I got a gift, and I can't sleep on it. I gotta keep going. It's all gas, no brakes. I would not stop until I reach the goal. And when I reach my goal, I'm just gonna set another goal and just keep striving. Like if you nothing that you want in life is gonna ever come easy unless you just got somebody in your family that just left you a whole cool million to just go splurge. But coming from where I'm from, ain't nothing easy. You gotta work for it. You gotta earn it. You gotta grind. And I'm happy that I'm from Pearson, Georgia. It allowed me to see that you have to have a grind mentality, you have to have a hustle mentality, and you can have whatever you want because at the end of the day, whatever you come from and whatever you gain is gonna be way bigger than what you came from in life. Now I can have steak if I want to. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing because now my parents can come down and say, hey, son, hey, we just want to relax. Hey, you want to go sit down and have a good time? I cook, do whatever. And that's all because we work hard to get where we're at. And now I'm trying to put my parents on a private jet, put them on a PJ and just fly to Paris or something like that. That's where I'm at. That's my mentality. I always thought outside the box. I always wanted to be different. And now that I'm doing everything the way that I've wanted to do it. You're like, I have no manager, I have no marketing agent. Everything that I'm doing, I'm learning myself, and it's great because I can see, hey, I'm growing right now by myself. So when everyone sees that, man, this guy is still moving, let's put a team behind it, and that's when the phones is gonna start ringing, and hey, it's straight through the roof from there.
Messenger, thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it.
TV the Block. Thank you so much for being here today.
I appreciate it, man. What's good, world? You already know who it is. It's your boy, The Messenger. And I just finished up a dope interview on Just Swagg TV The Block. Hey, this is what I need y'all to do. Go follow me on my IG at __ The Messenger. That's __ The Messenger. And while you at it, after that, go download my album, Who is The Messenger? Streaming on all platforms right now. Hey, you can't lose when you with The Messenger. It's all gas, no brakes. Remember, stay up.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your boy DJ Swagg, aka you know who I am, man. Hey, if you missed out on the interview with The Messenger, he was on the block today, man. Thank you so much for coming out today, man.
Appreciate it, man.
And I just want to tell you, man, wherever you go, always take the block with you,
You
man.
already know it.
You already know what it is, man. It's Just Swagg TV The Block. Make sure you go check it out on YouTube right now, man.
Right now.
Sweet as swag, 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 swag. Yeah. Just Swagg TV.